Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Cowboys Dak Prescott caught delivering scathing three-word message on team. It was not a particularly good day for Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott on Sunday, facing off against the Falcons in Week 9 of the NFL season. He injured his hamstring in the third quarter of the 27-21 loss to Atlanta, and sat out for the fourth quarter, an injury that owner Jerry Jones termed concerning. Prescott was sacked 3 times, and though he was 18 for 24 passing on the day, he racked up only 133 yards, an average of 5.5 yards per completion. Generally speaking, Prescott is a reliable leader even in tough times, and can usually be counted on to say the right things in post-game media conferences. In Atlanta, though, he was caught by TV cameras doling out an unvarnished opinion on the state of his team. With 3:56 to go in the game and Dallas down 2 touchdowns, Prescott can be seen saying to a teammate, "We, suck." It's hard to argue Prescott's point. The loss to Atlanta drops the Cowboys to 3-5 overall, and their season point differential is -54. Of the 3 wins the Cowboys have, only one came against a decent team, the Week 5 victory in Pittsburgh. Unfortunately for the Cowboys, the NFC is a deep and talented conference these days, which will make it tough for Dallas to rally for a playoff spot. In the NFC East, the Eagles have rallied to win 4 in a row, and the Commanders are winners of 3 straight. Dallas is 3 games in the loss column behind both teams, leaving almost no chance to win the division. It's almost as bleak when it comes to landing a spot in the NFC wild card round. The Cowboys are behind 12 teams in the conference, which means that, after the 4 division winners are settled, Dallas would still have to leapfrog 5 teams to reach the postseason. They've not shown much reason to think that can happen. The schedule won't help either. The Cowboys next run the gauntlet of the Eagles, Texans, and Commanders, 3 teams that have combined for a 19-7 record this season. Seems that 3-8 is a real possibility. And they may have to do it without Prescott, who offered a grim take on his injury after the game. "I felt something pull," he said. "I felt something I've never felt." The Dallas Cowboys were unable to bounce back after a botched fake punt, resulting in their 3rd consecutive loss, while Prescott deals with a hamstring injury. Down by just 4 points early in the second half, the Dallas Cowboys made a risky move with a fake punt from their own 38-yard line. This decision shifted the chances for the Cowboys to make a comeback for the rest of the game. Less than 3 minutes later, the Atlanta Falcons capitalized on the opportunity, scoring after getting the ball on the Cowboys' side of the field thanks to one of Kirk Cousins' 3 touchdown passes. Suddenly, the Cowboys were trailing by 2 scores in their 27-21 loss, raising serious doubts about their ability to turn the season around. Dallas, now 3-5, has lost 3 games in a row for the first time since a 4-game losing streak in 2020. Running back Ezekiel Elliott did not travel with the team to Atlanta, and 2 other key players, quarterback Dak Prescott and wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, left the game due to injuries. Adding to the team's frustrations, they committed 9 penalties for 55 yards, which worried coach Mike McCarthy. "We need to win a game," McCarthy said. "I know what everybody wants to talk about long-term. We have 5 losses and so we clearly understand where that puts us as far as what it will take. We've got to get to winning. We're making too many self-inflicted wounds, and some were pre-snap penalties that are totally unacceptable. It's easy to see the failed fake punt as yet another mistake made by the team. Punter Brian Anger's pass was incomplete because C.J. Godwin slipped on the 4th and 2 attempt. The call was surprising given the close score. The Falcons were ahead 14-10, and the field position. "The fake punt was a matchup we felt strong about going into the game," McCarthy said, adding, "That's when they got the 2-score lead." McCarthy confirmed that the decision to keep Elliott in Dallas clearly was a team discipline situation. "We'll pick up Monday and see where we are. Prescott expressed his hope that the team can support Elliott during this time. Definitely a difficult situation, me personally being as close as I am with him, wanting to help, Prescott said. I think if anything it will be good. Obviously it was a mutual decision for him not to take this trip. As he would say, just getting himself together. I'd like to just, rally around him and be the teammates and the brothers that we are, and good will come from it. Prescott's main concern now is finding out more about the hamstring injury that caused him to sit out the fourth quarter. He mentioned that he felt a pull, something I've never felt. An MRI is scheduled for Monday to check how serious the injury is. It was a tough deal to walk on it, Prescott said. I know how much we needed this one. I wanted to just get out there and compete, get out there and fight. He added that it'll take a lot for me to not be out there in next Sunday's home game against Philadelphia. Lamb left the game with a right shoulder injury but managed to return late in the game. Kirk Cousins torches Mike Zimmer in Falcons win over Cowboys. With the Minnesota Vikings not playing until primetime on Sunday, many members of the fan base were paying attention to the matchup in the early window that had Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons taking on Mike Zimmer and the Dallas Cowboys. In the end, it was the Falcons who came out on top with a 27-21 win over the Cowboys, and much of the result had to do with Cousins' performance against Zimmer's defense. During the Atlanta victory, the former Vikings quarterback completed 79.2% of his passes for 222 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions to finish with a 144.8 passer rating. With the win, Cousins and the Falcons improved their record this season to 6-3, while Dallas saw its record drop to a disappointing 3-5. When it comes to the post-Vikings careers of Cousins and Zimmer, each has certainly gone down extremely different paths this season. The former Minnesota quarterback has been solid for an Atlanta team that remains in first place in the NFC South after Sunday's win, while the Cowboys' defense has struggled during the 2024 campaign with the former Vikings head coach calling the shots. To be fair to Zimmer, Dallas has been without pass rusher Micah Parsons in its last 4 games, who is arguably the team's best defensive player. Still, the Cowboys' defense has taken a huge step back since former defensive coordinator Dan Quinn left the team earlier this year to become the new head coach of the Washington Commanders. As for Cousins and the Falcons, the franchise is off to a 6-3 start for the first time since the 2016 season, and their success this year is exactly why they signed the former Minnesota quarterback during the 2024 offseason. Zimmer and Dallas will attempt to get things back on track next Sunday when they host the Philadelphia Eagles, while Cousins and Atlanta will look to extend their current winning streak to 3 games next weekend when they travel to take on the New Orleans Saints. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Kirk Cousins? Leave your opinion in the comments.